Hey guys, Chris from NCG here, and we're here with who?
Luke, Smythe.
And what did you do today, Luke?
It's another top 8 Irish nationals. Didn't win this time, but you know, dream's got to win somewhere.
What did you play today?
The Pendulum deck.
And what were your matchups?
So I played the Cliffort deck in round 1, 2 Burning Abyss matchups, another Cliffort deck, then Monarch, there's a Pendulum deck, and there's another matchup there that I actually remember.
All the Irish metal.
Yeah, I played like everyone from the North.
Fair enough.
Like 6 out of my 8 matchups were North.
Wow. Let's start the main deck then.
Okay, so we're on 3 Magic Conductor.
Yep.
Now you're supposed to draw this with like other spells and do combos and stuff, but those cards just weren't there. So, like the idea is that you draw this with Painful Decision or Sky Iris and 1-0 combo your opponent's face off.
Yep.
Sometimes you just don't draw those cards though, so this was more like a 1700 attack vanilla for about half the day. Just thought of those cards. Like, I mean, big Pendulum Sorcerer, this guy's the best card.
Yeah.
Blow up your
So
own
much
guys, draw
advantage.
2 cards, level 4, even at 2 scales, you can manage them back all your lizard draws.
Yeah.
3 lizard draws. These guys are kind of doing a sort of a half Upstart Goblin impression nowadays.
Yeah.
So draw extra cards, you manage them back. They combo really well with the 1 Guitar Tool, and they're a high scale, which you've got to have a reasonable number of.
Yep.
3 Master Pendulum. I play Rescue Rabbit in Painful Decisions, so you've got to have that many of these guys in order to put them into play. These guys make Dynasters and Magisters and make around basically.
No, just money.
2 Vector Pendulum.
Going out later, so like
We're on 3 of this before. We took 1 Vector Pendulum out for the 3rd Magical Abductor. Figured that we didn't really ever want to get this with Rabbit or Painful Decision anyway. You always want to get Master, so you may as well just play 2 of these and just not ever, not cry over it if it happens.
Do you think that's the correct choice?
I play the 3rd one in the side deck anyway for the Pendulum Mirror match, so it was
All in
okay.
all, yeah.
I mean, it would have been better if Magic Abductor had actually done what it was supposed to.
Yeah.
But you get there. 2 Archfiend Eccentric. These did an awful lot less than they usually do nowadays because nothing seems to be playing any spell trap cards anymore.
Yeah.
There's not a great deal that it really does against the Cliffort's like 5 back row.
Yeah.
Massive removal spell there. But it's still a high scale, it still gets rid of things. It combos really well with the Magic Abductor as well if they've got a spell trap card. You can play this, get your counter, throw it at a back row, you've got space to play another Pendulum scale. I actually use the Exiled Force effect is pretty useful as well. It outs things like Vanity's Fiend. It outed an Allies Vortex Dragon earlier in the day, so it still pulls its weight. It's a searchable MST as well you can get with Magister Paladin. So 2 Summoner Monks. Pendulum Sorcerer copies like 6, 7 or 7 and 8. You discard your spell, you play your guy in the Pendulum Zone, you play a monk, you discard a spell, you get Sorcerer, blow up your scale and your Pendulum Sorcerer and search for Guitar Tool on keyboard, and then you're off to the races.
Yep.
Not much to say really about those.
What's your least two?
1 Obs, Lost Pendulum, this guy's super obvious. Other obvious ones, 1 Guitar Tool, didn't really want 2. The hands where you brick the most, the hands where you have Guitar Tool and Archfiend Eccentric, or Guitar Tool and Silver Claw,
Yeah.
or Guitar Tool and Unicorn. So you want to keep those hands down to a minimum.
Yeah.
This is for the Sky Irishes that we were playing. This guy's just a level 4 Performer Pal that you can go and search for if you need. The attack boost is sometimes relevant as well. It pushes a board of Performer Pals over the 8,000 mark if you've got 2 or 3 of them.
Yep.
These guys are the obvious ones. Also on 1 Odd Eyes Phoenix is the first Sky Iris target because you want to get it over this. The only reason you really play the Unicorn is for the Magic Abductor combo.
Yeah.
Because you've already got your low scale, so you need to go and get a high scale. This is probably the worst card in the deck to draw.
Yep.
It's a fight between this and Soul Charge, which was also terrible. And then I was playing 1 Second Donkey. This guy still combos really well with the Summoner Monk play. Once you've got your Monkey Board and your Guitar Tool, you can play those, you draw your card. You can use the Monkey Board to get the second Donkey. And the second Donkey, when you Pendulum Summon, makes a free excuse with the Summoner Monk. While searching your Skullcrabat Joker for the next turn. And then the 1 Rescue Rabbit. It would be nice to see this guy more often, really, because he makes some of the more ridiculous boards when you go and get your 2 Master Pendulums, you make your Dynasty, you Pendulum Summon them back, you're off to the races. 27 monsters in total.
Any changes to the monster lineup?
Spells. Since a couple of weeks ago, like I say, we dropped out 1 Vector for 1 Abductor. I think that's the only change to the monster line. I actually quite liked I quite like it where it was. I mean, I might drop out, I don't know about 3 Lizard draws. I might drop down to 2 Lizard draws. I don't know when I'm going to put in for 1 there.
Yep.
But the ways that you brick are either drawing too many level 3 guys that you can't play over, or just drawing like the spells that you don't really want, which we'll get to now. Spells.
Yep.
2 Sky Iris. For the Performer Pals, any card that allows you to build up your own cards for value is fantastic in a Pendulum deck.
Yeah.
The fact that this allows you to then get more draws off the guitar as well later on in the game makes it even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
It also has another effect that makes you guys immune to spell and trap destruction, but that makes no difference because no one ever uses it. 2 Space Typhoons. This has been kind of a love-hate relationship. Like, you really want to play like a billion Clifford players today, so it's good in that. It's good in that. But when you draw in your opening turn, it doesn't really do anything. I mean, sometimes if you draw it with another scale, you can trade it for with Magical Abductor, and you can trade it in for search for any pendulum monster, which I'd play like 20 of if I could. So, you can't complain. 2 Ignite Reloads. These guys pulled a lot of weight today. Shuffle away like useless hands. If you draw like Archphoenix, Centric and Lizard Draw, shuffle away, draw 3 more cards. Draw too many vectors for your Painful Decisions and your Rescue Rabbit, you can shuffle those away. Draw the Unicorn, shuffle that guy away. Gets you more like perp of Pendulum Sorcerer searches. It fuels the Magical Abductor as well. So,
do you play any more than 2? Do you think 2 is
I
the
think
perfect
if
number?
you draw 2, you play 3, you start drawing 2, which is a horrific thing to draw. I think a couple of times I played this and then drew 2 Pendulum Monsters. I played this, put 2 Pendulum Monsters back, and then drew the other one of this and 2 Pendulum Monsters. And it was sort of like, well, that got me a long way, didn't it really? 2 Painful Decision. Should have played 3 of this. This is the best card. Combos over Magical Abductor, sets up your Dinos to power plays. Searches for Vector Pendulum in the mirror match.
Fantastic.
It's the do-all be-all thing. Like I said, we should have played 3 of this. Should have taken out this piece of crap for it.
Soul Charge. Yeah.
Onto the one, obviously, Soul Charge. Didn't activate this in the entire tournament because it's terrible. Problem with this is that it shines in a format where people play loads of counter traps, and the only decks that were playing loads of counter traps in this tournament were also playing Necrovalley in the main board. So that doesn't really work that well, does it? I didn't activate this at all. It's the primary discard for like Summon a Monk and stuff like that. That gets taken out immediately for like another Painful Decision.
Painful Decision,
it goes somewhere over there where I can't see it anymore. One Upstart Goblin.
After.
1 Draco face off. These are the things that are super, like the 1 Raigeki as well. This card's still absurdly overpowered. The momentum swings that it provides are absolutely ridiculous. So you can't really not play. It's one of the 3 spells that you don't want to draw in your opening hand. There's this. There's the 1 Soul Charge. You kind of want to draw your Raigeki off your Lizard Draw Guitar Tool combo after you've already gone off. So you've got loads of guys in the extra deck anyway. You don't really want to draw either of these in your opening hand. You don't really want the 1 instant fusion either. This card's okay. It makes Free Dwellers, which are really good in the Monarch matchup, the Cosmo matchup, the Burning Abyss matchup. Didn't really play that many of those, but so
that's what
it's been fine. It makes Direwolves as well, so it can be a 3rd MST if you need it to be. Again, another of the primary issues that a lot of people are playing Necrovalleys and a whole load of bullshit that I don't want to see. 13 spells. So, like I say, we dropped the Soul Charge almost immediately because it's terrible. If we're going to go up to 3 Painful Decisions, we probably need to play the 3rd Vector Pendulum in order to account for that. So maybe I'll drop 1 Lizard Draw in for the 3rd Vector Pendulum.
If you had to go again,
I might also try and play 1 Terraforming. We played Kaiku in the sideboard for the Monarch matchup to stop them from doing anything during my turn, basically. So the Terraforming into Necrovalley would probably be a better way of doing that. The Terraforming can then search for the Sky Iris and combo off with the main deck. If I had to cut anything, it's probably these guys. They're fine, but in a format where there are no really real traps apart from the 1 Clifford deck, you don't really need these cards.
Fair enough.
Sideboard. I've got an actual sideboard this time with real cards and stuff that aren't called Maxi.
Whoa! Unlike Port Rush.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we get these guys out of the range to start.
So 3 Maxi, obvious,
This is when you go in second, really, against pretty much anything that's not Clifford.
Monarch?
Every deck seems to want to make you go first an awful lot, though. So you don't actually get boarded in that often. You board them against the mirror because they want to go first. But I didn't play these guys in the main board. I want as many combo pieces as possible in my 37 card deck. If you draw this when you go in first, you just sort of sit. I mean, it's nice if you've also got a board. But if you've also got a board, you're in a pretty good spot anyway. So it makes virtually no difference.
Win more though.
2-Gam SCL. Didn't board this in all day. It was there for the ridiculous, the decks that you can't, play things that you can't kill, like the Raid Raptor thing that makes Ultimate Falcon. It's okay over the top of like Dark Destroyers and stuff like that, but I didn't play any Cosmo today. So it just sat in the sideboard doing its turtle thing. I guess you kind of have to play it because there are things that you can't beat, but just going to board it in today. 2 Ghost Ogre. Card's okay. It's for the mirror match primarily. You can also board it in as the Cliff Fort deck, but they have if they're not playing lose one turn, which a lot of the time they're not, it's pretty much like a 1-for-1 with Scout if you're really lucky.
Yeah.
And you're already boarding a hell of a lot of like spell and trap removal anyway.
Yeah.
I think I got this off like once today. The issue with playing loads of non-pendulum ones in the pendulum deck is that again it dilutes your combo.
Yeah.
So I might rethink these guys as well for something maybe better for the mirror match. 2 holding legs.
Oh, you got the other one.
Yeah, we played this guy. I played this guy over Denko because you can pendulum summon it, and it works better with regards to things like strike. I mean, if you strike this and I can banish it, you can use it later. You can make Dweller out of it and attach it and use it again later.
Yep.
It doesn't really interact well with the Chaos Trap Holes that are getting played.
Yeah.
But you can pendulum summon it. You can get it off Summon Monk as well. So I don't really know. Maybe since there's like 3 Cliff Fort decks in the top 4 of this tournament, maybe I need to start playing more spell and trap removal.
Probably,
like maybe Fairy Wind needs to start making a return. But I really hate traps, so we'll think about that later.
Yep.
2 Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer for the Monarch deck. The idea was that once you put this into play, the Monarch deck can't do anything during your turn. It can't activate Prime, it can't activate Aether, and those are really the only 2 things that you care about. So you can get off your extra deck play and you can then generally kill them. It's Pendulum Sunnable. I boarded this in against my Monarch matchup and never drew it.
Right.
Which is the story of pretty much my entire sideboard for the day.
So you can't fight for its effect in this
Like I
one way or
say,
another?
we'd probably take these out. We'd probably play like 1 Necro Valley instead. Maybe 1 Necro Valley, 1 Terraforming in the sideboard. Make it more searchable. Interact with the Summoner Monks.
Yeah.
Means you can search your Skyros if you don't want to.
Yep.
The 3rd Vector Pendulum for the mirror match because it locks out Guitar Souls and Luster Pendulums and effects on Guiding Ariadnes. A lot of the decks now, when they play their they'll play 2 guys like the Pendulum Sorcerer and the Master Pendulum, intending to blow up the Pendulum Sorcerer, and then play another guy into the zone. Or they'll go Abductor and a Master Pendulum, and the Vector just shuts out both the Abductor's effect and the Master Pendulum's destruction effect. They lock out their own scales. It's also searchable by Painful Decision. The other option was Lecter Pendulum, the 5-scale guy who's the other Draco board, but that guy just you can't search for him. You can get Vector Pendulum off Painful Decision, which makes it a whole lot more accessible than Vector Pendulum that can be almost 50-50 searched by Draco face-off maybe. So he just felt like he was a better guy. 2 Dark Coals for Cosmo primarily, but also for Monarch because if they board in things like Vanity's Fiends, they board it in against Burning Abyss if they board in Majesty's Fiends and Vanity's Fiends as well. It's just an equalizer. So you can then get your Pendulum Summon off and win the game. The 3rd MST. I think that I need more. If this Cliff Fort deck is going to be an actual thing, then I need more spell and trap removal in the sideboard, basically. Like I say, Fairy Wind maybe. I'll have to rethink these guys versus Denko. And like I said, the Terraformings and the Necro Valley instead of it. So it needs a rework again, really. It got to top 8, but it's not particularly super effective, realistically.
Would you consider Road Decree by any chance?
I'm tempted by Royal Decree. The primary issue with it is that the Cliff Fort deck is playing Helix, so it has a main deck element to it.
Yes.
And I'm playing the Pendulum deck, so they're going to board into Space Typhoons and stuff like that against me as well, which happen to double up against Royal Decree. Trapstun might be a thing.
Yep.
That might work. All you tend to need is a single turn, and then you can go off and kill them. Like the one game that I got in the quarterfinals was when he had 4 back row and I actually resolved HUD and laced through all those 4 back row and sent them all away and got a Pendulum Summon off. This guy's good when it works. It's just that sometimes they have carded nice.
Sometimes.
That card should not have been made.
No. Fair enough.
Extra deck.
Extra deck quickly.
Pretty much the same as before. We're on 2 Dwellers. This is the best it sees. It works against them. We're playing 2 so that you can toss one out on the table on the first turn of the game to stop your opponent from killing them. It allows you to go first and set your combo up, make this guy. Most decks usually can't kill you through Dweller. And then on the next turn you can follow up with your combo and you've got a second one if you need it for later on. 2 Magister Paladin. 1 so you can make it on the first turn if you combo off into Dinoster and Magister and a guy, and then 1 so that you can do it in the same combo later on because you need to make one of these between Dinosters. Direwolf and Castell, base removal. Use these an awful lot less nowadays because there are a lot less traps. This guy's really like an MSC from the extra deck. I made this guy a couple of times, he's fine. And then we've got Harbinger, who's the high-end rank. I actually didn't make this guy. I made this guy once today. He's the guy that you want to make on the first turn against Cliff Fort, but in order to do that you have to have an actual hand with which to make him. So I couldn't get to him. basically, was the problem.
Yeah.
Then a change from before. Originally we were playing Daigusto Emerald and Nightmare and Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon, now on Gimmick Puppet and Pain Gainer and the Seven Sins. So the idea behind this is that we found in the Monarch matchup and in some cases in the Cosmo matchup that you would find that yourself in a position where you had 5 Pendulum monsters in your extra deck, which is game, but you have no way to get rid of the board. Right. So we were trying to find, you just sit there for a while trying to draw a power spell before they kill you.
Right.
So the idea is that these guys are a Raigeki that you can make from your extra deck. So the idea is that usually your a 5 monster pendulum summon and your normal summon is enough to kill through pretty much whatever they have. You get to pendulum summon your many guys.
Yeah.
And you can fuse into Dinoster, overlay into bring a guy back from the graveyard, overlay into Magister, attach to get a guy back from your extra deck, fuse into a second Dinoster, bring a second guy back, so you're on Dinoster, Magister, and a guy.
Yeah.
And then there's another Dinoster that you've not activated, so you get another guy back, so that's 2. And then your normal summon with one of the guys makes Dweller, and the 2 Dinosters go into this, and you go up to Pain Gainer, which is 3,000 defense. There's nothing in the format that's got 3,000 defense, so it just kills all the guys. The Dweller forces out things like the Prime Monarch and things like that beforehand, and then you overlay 7 Sins and attack for 1 billion damage basically and win the game.
Yeah, fair enough.
The rest of it's pretty standard realistically. You've got your 1 Ignister, who gets made an awful lot less than he should do. The 1 Nordum, I'll rethink this guy if I decide whether I decide on the instant fusion or not. I really like making Dwellers that are big. But it's been okay. And then 3 Dinoster. This is your primary engine.
Yeah.
You need to have 1 that you can make on the first turn, and then 2 more later on that you can use to make a rank 8. And there's just a lot of decks that just can't get past this.
Yep.
You stick it on the board and you go, here's 2950 defense. I don't think you've got cards to kill that.
Yeah.
It protects you from dark holes as well. He's just a fantastic card. I think that's where we are.
Right. Well done on your top. Thank you very much for the deck profile. Unlucky I'm not reclaiming the title once again. But it is
always
what it
next
is.
year.
Alright. NCG signing out.